shifting my mind to get around you. Still hiding from the truth, it's getting old.
Hey guys, this is Spectre Phantom here, and oh man, it's finally here. The end of our beloved storyline, and we've gone into, this is our fourth and final part, and I just can't believe it's over. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so where we left off was in Buried, when Maxis and Richtofen were battling it out against each other with the 4 transit characters, and unbeknownst to both these Germans, Samantha, Maxis' daughter, had actually traveled to an alternate timeline in 1918. In this timeline, in the midst of World War I, the German research organization known as Group 935 are tasked with creating powerful new weaponry to ensure victory for the Central Powers. Just like the other timeline with World War II, instead this is World War I. Same idea. The reports of the creatures provoked the United States to send Tank Dempsey to the site to investigate the group's work and acquired Dr. Richtofen as HVT. Meanwhile, Civil War-torn Russia did the same, believing the Germans had geared up to unleash a dangerous weapon, and they sent Nikolai Belinsky. The Emperor, wishing to seize the German weaponry for Japan, sends Takeo Masaki. As the 3 soldiers made their way to the site, Richtofen attempts to preserve Maxis' mind and prevent it from succumbing to the disease, and removed his brain. Eventually, the 4 heroes meet and agree to put aside their country's alliances to band together and survive the zombie attack of Group 935's mechanical robots, and being contacted by Samantha in the midst of battle, begging to be released from Agartha. While Tank, Takeo, and Takeo agree to help, Richtofen focuses on creating a makeshift quadrotor drone using Maxis' brain, allowing him to live temporarily until a human body can be provided. The 4 are able to open a portal to Agartha beneath the ruins, allowing Maxis to meet his future daughter and Samantha to be freed from controlling the zombies. The zombie outbreak was finally contained. Another alternate universe is shown where Samantha and a boy named Eddie is casually playing a game of zombies, as it's fictionalizing all the past events that have occurred, making it seem like it's all one big game. We all know it is not. Over the course of the next 2 years in the Origins timeline, Richtofen studies the concept of how element 115 connects all dimensions together. He takes a particular interest in the universe where the children Samantha and Eddie live in, and seeks to protect them. Richtofen discovers something called the Chronorium, granting him knowledge of an artifact called the Summoning Key, which resides in another dimension. The alternate timeline where the Summoning Key exists is in the 1940s in a fictional city of Morgue City. Simultaneously, 4 individuals who have come to reside in this dimension: Nero Blackstone, Jessica Rose, Jackie Vincent and Floyd Campbell have defended the key from the keepers while following the Shadow Man. Richtofen enters right after the four defeat a giant apothecary tentacle monster. He rushes in, takes the key which the keepers were giving to the four, thanks the four for their efforts, and rushes off. Now in possession of the artifact, Richtofen travels to an alternate timeline to kill one of World War II Richtofen's multiple versions. In this timeline, only moments after the original Richtofen trapped Maxis and Samantha inside the teleporter with Fluffy, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio from the Origins attempt to stop Richtofen and join him in this timeline. The three confront the World War II Richtofen, telling him that there's a chain of events that must be carried out, and prompted him to awaken this timeline's version of themselves. As the zombie horde approaches them from outside, World War II Richtofen ignores the three's warnings and turns on the teleporter, only to find the Origins timeline's Richtofen inside. The young Richtofen, who had just acquired the summoning key from Morgue City, then shoots the original Richtofen in the head, killing him instantly. While the group expresses disappointment in Richtofen for tampering with history, he defends his actions, believing that what he does is for a better tomorrow. The four characters band together within the Derice facility in order to survive the undead horde to progress their mission. They light up a beacon within the facility, enabling the Origins timeline's Maxis to know where and when they are. Of course, over the course of the mission, the Origins characters' personality begins to merge with those of their original counterparts. Dempsey becomes more aggressive as well as loudmouth. Nikolai becomes slightly less intelligent and more obsessed with drinking. Takio constantly speaks using Japanese proverbs, and Richtofen starts showing signs of his schizophrenia. Using a giant robot at Derice, the four characters then pursue a Group 935 truck carrying a pod containing the original Dempsey. The robot, however, shot down by a rocket, forcing the four to continue on foot. They reach a gondola station which takes them up to Griffin Castle, aka Eagle's Nest, where massive deposits of element 115 had been recently discovered. However, the four were too late to stop the original Dempsey from being sent towards Griffin Station on a rocket. As they carry on with their mission, Richtofen then poses as his original self in the attempt to fool Dr. Groff, who becomes suspicious of Richtofen's abnormal behavior. Eventually, the group redirects the rocket containing Dempsey's pod to hit the castle courtyard. In retaliation, Groff then advocates a fail-safe, preventing them from tampering with the pod. Richtofen then instructs them to activate the MPD by temporarily displacing it from Griffin Station to the castle. After battling a keeper corrupted by Group 935, the four unleash a barrage of missiles towards the moon, destroying it along with all Group 935 members within the Griffin Station. As they approach Dempsey's pod, Richtofen reveals his plan to eliminate their original counterparts and absorbs their souls into the summoning key. Dempsey accepts the idea, agrees to the plan, and takes it upon himself to disable the pod's life support system, ending the life of Dempsey 1.0. Richtofen uses the summoning key to capture and preserve the soul of Dempsey 1.0. With that done, his job at Griffin Castle is completed. After the mission at Griffin Castle, the four somehow teleport to another universe, arriving on board a Japanese ship in the Pacific Ocean, eventually being taken hostage once the crew of Division 9 soldiers discover the stowaways. A Japanese officer interrogates the four as he holds the summoning key in his hand. Suddenly, a massive wave strikes the ship, sending everyone off their balance. A brief fight ensues, and they try to catch the summoning key. And as the summoning key rolls towards the side of the ship, Takio catches it last minute, and they have to swim to a nearby island because their ship was destroyed, and is seen in the distance as the ship behind them sinks. The island, which also houses a Division 9 facility, had been exposed to various Element 115 experiments, resulting in mutated animals and plant life of various kinds. As they dive deeper into the facility, they discover a giant thrasher locked within a cell. After a long ensuing battle with the undead horde, the group destroys the thrasher, which revealed to be a mutated form of the universe's Takeo. Conversing with his older self, young Takeo is shocked by the revelation that it was the Emperor who sent him here to be tortured and experimented on. He then resolves himself and offers the World War II Takeo a chance for redemption. The World War II then commences seppuku, which is a nice way of committing suicide. Having absorbed his soul into the summoning key, Richtofen then teleports the group somewhere else to accomplish a task that will set a chain of events in motion before returning back to the island, which we now know they went to Mob of the Dead to get the souls. After that, they travel to a war-torn Stalingrad, another Ultimate Universe, during a massive battle between several Group 935-controlled dragons and Russian robots, and search for this universe's Nikolai. Eventually, the Origins crew reaches Sophia, who has somehow turned into an AI. She asks them to perform a number of tasks before a master password can be typed in, prompting the younger four to complete the Ascension Protocol. As they do all these attempts to do all these things for Sophia, they get it. They have to fight Nikolai, catch his soul. They get it. With all 4 souls collected, Richtofen sends the original Nikolai, Takeo, and Dempsey to the sky with a beacon from the summoning key, claiming that the crew will see Maxis soon. Later, the unknown voice from before contacts Dempsey, Takeo, and Nikolai, and stating that his name is Dr. Monty. Finally, Richtofen and the others travel to the universe where the children exist, revealed to be the perfect world. The children, Samantha, Eddie, and the child versions of Dempsey, Takeo, and Nikolai reside in the house as a result of Richtofen collecting the souls. They play their toys, and as an air siren sounds, meanwhile in the basement, Richtofen, Takeo, and Nikolai and Dempsey exit the teleporter to meet Maxis, who then proceeds to destroy the teleporter with the help of Richtofen. Sometime later, Maxis becomes overwhelmed with a voice begging for help, influencing him to reach out for the summoning key, which ultimately releases the Shadow Man into the dimension, who in turn captures Maxis within the summoning key. The Shadow Man then begins the process of corrupting the dimension by allowing the Apothicans into it, wreaking havoc across the dimension. Nonetheless, the 4 Origins characters manage to defeat the Shadow Man by shooting him into the mouth of an Apothicon statue, which crushes the Shadow Man and killing him. Finally, Sophia and Maxis sacrifice themselves to preserve the area. Afterwards, the Origins crew are sent back by Dr. Monty, becoming Primus, where they are regarded as conquering heroes and enter into a time loop. Well, this is it, guys. The final episode of the zombie storyline. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for everything, and thank you for supporting this series. I know you guys wanted to watch this, and thank you, Treyarch. This is the end. Goodbye.